Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Obviously, our players want to play against the best. They want to compete against the best. That's one of the reasons they came to the University of Michigan. And Coach Staley and the South Carolina team is the best. So it's just a great opportunity, and I think our kids are really excited about it.
It's an interesting schedule addition or start when you start to think about what the schedule will look like now with 18 teams and how difficult the scheduling is going to be. How does the addition of the new schools from a scheduling and other perspectives affect the way that your program operates?
Yeah, I mean, I think the addition of the schools from a women's basketball perspective is incredible. We were already, I believe, the strongest conference in the country, and then you add the teams that we have added, it just makes us even stronger. Incredible talent, incredible coaches, and I just think we go coast to coast. What a great product. What a great product for young girls to see, but not only young girls, the rest of the country. Obviously, our league was followed so strongly this past year, and I think it's just something that's going to be really positive for the Big Ten moving forward.
What are the keys to keeping that interest and momentum that this sport has right now headed in the right direction?
Yeah, I think some of the keys are the talent that we have in the league. People want to follow great players. People want to hear about great stories. Caitlin Clark was obviously an incredible player, but we have so many more great players. Juju's an incredible player. We have some incredible players coming into our program this season. So I think people want to follow that. They want to hear their stories. They want to follow that plan. And the product has been really, really good. So the momentum is great. I think, it has changed, and it's going to continue to evolve.
As a coach who has seen the change and seen where the game is right now in comparison to maybe where it was when you started coaching, what's the emotion that you feel being involved in it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you gotta, it's a fight. And I think as a woman in this business, and I think as female players and watching the female players, we continue to persevere. We continue to fight for those opportunities. And it's great for me to look out and be like, holy cow. Like, it's changed. I have two girls, young girls that are in high school that all they watch is women's basketball. I have a son that's in college, and all he watches is women's basketball. Him and his buddies would go out and follow the tournament. I mean, it's just such a wonderful time. But for me to sit back and just, I know that it's going to continue. We have to continue to fight. We can't stop. We can't take our foot off the gas. But it's an incredible time, and I think it's an exciting time for women and for young girls.
There's also been some conversation, Kim, about maybe altering the tournament because of the popularity that the game is enjoying right now, and maybe considering taking those first and second round games and not having them at the site of the highest seeded teams and putting them in larger arenas. There are probably both positives and negatives to that thought process. Where do you stand?
Yeah, I think, I've lived through it all, and I think that there definitely are positives and negatives. When I looked around the room, and we had this discussion this morning, when I look around the room at the different teams in our league and think about the arenas that they play in, and think about every time I go or a team goes to one of those arenas, it's packed. And 5 years ago, that wasn't the case. So our kids would go to empty arenas, and even in the NCAA tournament, at times we would go to empty arenas. That is no longer the case. So I think it's a fine line. We want to continue that upward trend. It's just been fantastic. It's incredible to go to the NCAA tournament and to play in front of a full house. What a great experience for our players. So I think we have to find that sweet spot, and we've been fortunate enough to find it in recent years. So I think we're sensitive to, is it time yet to change it? And I think, we're really going to keep an eye on that in the upcoming years, because it is something that's, really changed drastically, and it's been so great. I think the other point is, the opportunities for potentially, adding more teams to the NCAA tournament. Like, what a great opportunity for more exposure. With our league adding the teams that it is, from top to bottom, I mean, we feel, looking around that room, holy cow, there are 18 teams that can go. Like, how great would it be to add more teams from our league and more players to have the opportunity to play on the biggest stage.
And also to potentially add new locations for the Big Ten tournament. What do you think that could do as well for the brand, specifically for Big Ten women's basketball?
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, we played in Minnesota the last couple of years, and it was incredible. We've played in Indy, and it's incredible. And, we sit around the table and sit around the room and think of those different cities that really, really invest in women's basketball and really invest in Big Ten women's basketball. And I think, wherever we pick, it's going to be a sellout. I think our brand is just so incredible right now. Like I said, I think the players and the stories in our league are really special, and I think we have some of the finest coaches in the game. So I think it's going to continue to grow, and I think there are going to be a lot of cities that want to be a part of Big Ten women's basketball.
As I got to talk about you individually with Ward and asked about what you've meant to this department, your stability and your success, and the fact that you're the winningest coach in program history, he simply said you're a rock, and you are kind of what Michigan athletics is all about. Has it gone by quicker than maybe we think it would have gone by?
Well, I always felt like the young one, and I don't think I'm the young one anymore. I don't know what happened, but in the blink of an eye, it kind of happens like that. But for me, a chance to reflect, and I think about someone like Coach Hutch, and now it's 12 years. 12 years ago, I decided to come to the University of Michigan, and I decided to come here to surround myself with excellence, and we talk about that with our recruits as well. You get to be a part of a culture that just breeds excellence in the community, in the classroom, on the field, and Hutch is an example, but our women's, you can go through every women's sport, and it's just incredible coaches, incredible people. So for me to be a part of that, I think when you come to Michigan, you don't really leave Michigan. It's just too special, and the people are so special. The environment, the culture is really special. So, Ward was someone that came to school here, and he came back, and he knew coming back. But me, I wasn't a Michigander, and now I am. My family is, and it's a place that I call home. So, just to watch the younger coaches at the University of Michigan continue to grow and flourish, and even this spring season, our women's lacrosse program, they've just taken the world by storm, and my daughter will play there next year, so that's pretty exciting. But Hannah Nielsen has done a fabulous job, and then our women's tennis coach won another Big Ten championship, and Bonnie, who took over for Hutch, went back to the NCAA tournament. It's like ongoing. It's just an incredible culture, and the power of that Block M is real. It's really a special place, and I'm just fortunate to be a part of it.
It's crazy. We covered Hannah when she was a player at Northwestern.
Yeah.
Dusty still looks like he can be in college.
Yes.
Sharon's super young.
Yes.
You mentioned Hutch retiring.
Yeah.
Red retired as well. You are starting, I'm thinking, to feel like the true veteran in this athletic department.
My goodness, it is weird to hear that, but even, sitting next to Sharon last night at dinner, and he's just, he's a rock star. He's incredible. But I look at him and I'm like, oh my goodness, he's such a baby. And Dusty's been phenomenal, and he's just going to be amazing as well. But I am a veteran at the university now, a veteran among the coaches, and it just feels kind of like an awkward space, a space that I've grown into, but I wouldn't change it. Like I said, it's really special, and we have some really special people at Michigan.